Morning traders, and this is your Dow Jones day trade setup. Yesterday was quite a chaotic day. We'll get to that on the lower time frames, but I think what I want to just highlight here is this retracement. So this move down on the weekly is looking like a retracement at the moment. Even though we've got a bit of a crossover happening here, if you look at the oscillators, look how they're separating quite nicely. And we're starting with a piercing pattern. Okay, still very early in the week. Obviously, we want a green week and to close pretty high up. And I would say that would be the area where we should head to. Okay, so pretty difficult at this stage. I just want to put this 50% Fibonacci in because there's quite a bit of support to the left in this area. So that's kind of what I would anticipate is that we have a half decent pullback like that, and just want to get this monthly level in. Okay, it's not quite going to do it, but anyway, so what I was looking for is to see if we had a trend line that came up onto the 50% as well, but we don't. Okay, but you can see that this 50% Fibonacci, if I look to the left on the monthly, quite a bit of resistance and support at this level. See, there's two tails there, another two there. Okay, so that's definitely something that we need to watch out for. Okay, so that's that. I think what we can do though is just get rid of the noise. Delete that Fibonacci. We'll leave a level in. The level is down here at 24,200. Okay, so that's kind of the area that I'm looking for price to get to. That's the most logical spot that we have. The next thing that we need to bear in mind is we're looking for the second move to complete, which takes it pretty close to the 50% Fibonacci. Okay, right. So let's get to the intraday levels. So firstly is the 3 hour. Okay, so as you can see, yesterday was pretty chaotic. We had over a 100.5 minute candle, so I got burnt a couple of times yesterday. But I think the point is we got to the level that I suggested you take the short, which is pretty much what happened. But then immediately the buyers were coming in. You can see with these tails here, the buyers were stepping in for some reason. Okay, one thing that I can see at the moment is that we have the oscillators grouped to the upside. Okay, we do have this break, trend line break. Okay, we've broken out, we've come back and tested it twice pretty much. So the question is, is this going to continue or are we going to drift lower? Ideally, I'd like to see us drift lower, get some support down here again, and that's going to start building a base that we can start looking at for a long entry. Okay, at this stage, what we see here is pretty much indecision with these tails. There are buyers, but I prefer to see it like this rather than inside a big green bar like this. Okay, for me at the moment, this is a range. That's my range at this stage. Okay, you can see how we've got a little bit of a turn in the moving average here. Well, we were flat. We rallied off the flats of the stochastics, but now we are sitting in a situation where we could turn back to the downside. Right, now we start seeing a bit of more clarity on what went on yesterday, and you can see this indecision. I mean, this is completely chaotic. What has formed is a inverse cup and handle. That's a top, okay? So that's why I'm saying this is a range. These are the two levels I'm looking at the moment for the range, but the range could also be down the bottom here. We do have a grouping and a crossover here. Okay, we have got a twist in the moving averages on the hour. So, a short-term trend on the hour is up, but this chaos of yesterday doesn't convince me. Okay, so in other words, what I'm looking for right now is I'm looking for a base. This could be the start of the base for the turn. Okay, it's very possible. This bob wire in the middle of the day, well, during the session yesterday, doesn't give me much confidence, and there is a gap here on the hour. Okay, so that kind of stuff you'd expect to be closed. And then the second thing is we do have a fairly strong level here, obviously with these buyers coming in off, so maybe we'll get another test that level. Looking at the oscillators, that's pretty much what I think is going to happen. Okay, so you can see, looking at the half hour, you can see some a little bit of structure starting to form. So there's big up, big down, big confusion. That's pretty much what that was. Okay, and what we have now is we've got to move up, and then we can use that. We have a flag. Okay, so this flag here is more than likely going to target the 200 moving averages here, if not a bit more. Okay, so a couple of things here. So for me, the trend is still down. So we're looking at your higher time frame. So look at the daily. The trend is still pretty much down. Okay, the logical move back to the upside for the daily is pretty much to test this break. 25,226. Okay, this is a piercing pattern that formed. So what I mean by that is we gapped down and then we rallied up to the 50% of the previous bar and closed in that area. So that is a piercing pattern. That is a bullish pattern. Oscillators are saying it's bullish. I'd like to just see some kind of a pullback before we start the rally. So in other words, come back a little bit deeper and then rally. So if we come back to the half hour, we'll see that level that I've put in, which is the previous day's close right there. Well, not quite, it could be around there, which is the gap close as well. So that's kind of what I'd like to see, and then see if we can form a base. In other words, get some structure here and then start rallying. Okay, one thing that I do know when we get into situations like this, when it's becoming a dogfight, is Fibonacci starts to play a major role. So at this stage, we're not at a Fibonacci level. The 50% Fibonacci is just below the gap close. 61.8 pretty much lines up with this level here. Okay, which is just below there. Okay, so I mean, you can see how the breakout levels on the half hour were tested yesterday. So we rallied massively, fell off massively, and then we just continued the confusion. But you can see the structure is there. There's two inside tails, and it was used as support there, and here. Okay, so the structure is definitely there, and you can see there is my next bit of structure, these tails here. And this is off the half hour at the moment. Okay, so yeah, so I'm in two minds. This could be building a base, or it could just be just consolidating itself before another move down, but it is quite a big consolidation. And what I mean by that is if you look at the 5 minutes here, look here, 100-point candle, 100-point candle. Okay, so massive. When I saw this, I was already in short, and we had the breakaway at the downside. Well, that confirms it. I added at the bottom here, moved my stop a little bit lower, and got stopped out. Okay, so Just I think the situation at this stage is complete confusion still. What you're looking for is I'm looking for a pullback. There's no doubt about that. And I'm going to work off the 12-minute chart now. So I'm really looking for a deeper pullback. Okay, this gap needs to close. So worst case scenario is I'm looking for something to this area here, which is 24. Let's just say 24,800. It's a nice round number. There's no real structure at that level, but that's kind of what I'd be looking for. There's a pullback onto the 50% Fibonacci of this previous move, and then we can take it from there. Okay, then obviously we're looking for a long, and the long I'm looking for is a reversal to come and test this breakout up here, which would make sense because you've got the 200 moving averages up here as well. Okay, so looking for 25,225 in the long run to be tested, but I just want some more structure here before we get in for the long. At this stage, it's a wait and see game, and let's see what happens. Might be completely wrong. What we may be forming here is there's two ways of doing that. So that's the most logical way. This was a square below, but that's my consolidation triangle. So whichever way we break is the direction we're going to be following. Okay, so yeah, I think that's kind of my view at the moment. Probably looking more than likely a move to the upside. This is looking like a flag, but wait for the European Open to see what happens. I'd like to see a bit of a pullback. If we do break below this trend line, just bear in mind that we do have another trend line here. So there's the one which seems pretty strong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touches on it. So that is a fairly strong line, but there is another one here. Okay. So yeah, so that's kind of my view at the moment. Wait and see what the structure is. This big confusion here doesn't give me much confidence, so we'll have to wait and see what plays out with this. Okay. So yeah, probably doesn't help you much, but I think wait and see at the moment is the best advice I can give. Just wait and see what happens during the European session, and then we can see whether we've got some structure forming and that daily pattern is going to play out. Okay, anyway guys, that's it for me today. Hope it helps somebody, and I'll catch up with you later. Cheers for now.